Thank you, Ms. Sophia. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullah. Salam sejahtera. Good morning for those of you who are from Malaysia. And greetings to all of you, the viewers from wherever you are. This is the final session, final panel session number 6 of the eNational Export Day. I would like to record our sincerest appreciation and thank you to all the audience who have been with us since day 1, which is on Tuesday, until now. This is the 3rd day and this is the final session. And I hope you enjoyed and gained a lot from the previous session that we had. Okay, for this panel session number 6, with the title Boost Your Export Via Cross-Border E-Commerce, I have with me 3 distinguished panelists who I will introduce in more detail later. I would like to, for those of you who are familiar with Matrade, I'm sure you are aware when we talk about this cross-border e-commerce. Matrade has been championing this cross-border e-commerce since 2014 through our e-trade program. Yeah? And just to give you some information, background of this e-trade program, which started in 2014, this program is basically a program to assist Malaysian exporters to export by listing their products through the international e-marketplaces. At the moment, we work with around 20 e-marketplaces on cross-border. Yeah? And just to share with you, when we first started this e-trade program 6 years ago, it was quite difficult for us to convince companies to join this program, because maybe one of the things is that because of the awareness. Yeah? So most of our activities at that time was very much focused on giving awareness, sharing the benefits of why going into e-commerce and so on. We see gradual increase in the take-up rate among the Malaysian exporters to go into this program, because this program not only to get them to be listed on e-commerce platform, but also to train them on how to trade or to do business, to export through the e-commerce. The take-up rate, as mentioned just now, for the first few years is quite just gradual. We don't see much of take-up, it's just a normal rate. But then, the recent pandemic, back in March when we had this movement control order, that is really something that we can see a spike in terms of interest from the Malaysian companies on cross-border e-commerce. Just to give you some perspective, during that 3-month period of MCO in Malaysia, Matrade received the number of applications, and we approved the application for companies to participate in this e-trade. That number is almost equivalent to the same number that we processed the whole year of 2019. So you just imagine within that 3 months, we managed to do it within in the same number within the last year that we had. So that indicates to us is that now we're not talking about awareness anymore. When you talk about e-commerce, it's no longer about awareness. It seems like people are getting more and more understanding about why the need for them to go into e-commerce. So this session that we had today is very much designed for that purpose, to not only giving you about the awareness, but it's talking about doing it, to go into cross-border e-commerce, to consider that as one of your tools to go for export, in addition to the conventional way of doing export. So with me today, I have 3 distinguished panelists. Let me just explain the flow of the session that for this morning. What I will do is that I will introduce each of the panelists, and after that, each of them will get a 20-minute slot for them to share their experience, for them to give some of the tips, advice, and so on how to go about into cross-border e-commerce. Then, after all of them have completed their presentation, I will open the floor for question and answer. That at the moment you can pose your question, but we'll take it towards the end of the session. And before the question and answer, I mentioned just now about this e-trade program. I just wanted to share a very short video, a 2 minutes video about one of the companies, the success story that we had through this e-trade program. But that one will happen just before the Q&A, yeah? Okay, the panelists all ready, yeah? Okay, let me just introduce first our first panelist, Mr. Vincent Cheong, yeah? Okay, Mr. Vincent Cheong has 25 years of human resources and administration experience in the areas of supply chain operations, financial and marketing, with 8 years of intensive e-commerce experience. And he has come a long way in growing his career in the e-commerce industry and ecosystem. He is currently the Chief Executive Officer of Bodycard e-commerce in Berhad, which was awarded the top 10 APAC e-commerce consulting services companies in 2019. He is also the Certified E-commerce Consultant USA 2017. He also got the Best Supply Certified Masterclass in E-commerce UK in 2016. In addition to his distinguished career, Mr. Cheong is also a member of the World E-commerce Industry Alliance, e-commerce partner for Jumori E-commerce of China. And he has been actively involved in so many e-commerce activities, conferences, by giving talks, solution services to local entrepreneurs, as well as overseas counterparts. Mr. Cheong's experience in the e-commerce industry is very notable. He was invited as special speaker and panel speaker for various events, including the World E-commerce Conference in 2018 and 2017 in Yiwu, China, the World Food and Agriculture Products E-commerce Conference, Weifang City, China, FinTech Step in the Future, the Tuanku Abdul Rahman University College, KL. Also in 2017, CBEC Cross-Border E-commerce Hunan Summit in Hunan, China. Also in the Second Optics Valley Global Cross-Border E-commerce Forum in Wuhan, China. He also was invited to the SciTech E-commerce Content Management in 2015, and Malaysia Internet Business Summit 2014, MDEC E-commerce Call PS 2014, and also the Southern University College Skodai Johor in 2014. I think with that, I would like to give the floor to Mr. Vincent Cheong for him to share some tips, some experience, and what have undergone before in his career in this e-commerce. Yeah. With that, the floor is yours, Mr.
Thank you, Mr. Hadi. And first of all, I would like to thank Matre and Miti for inviting me to share my knowledge and experience to this conference, eNational Export Day. And I'm glad I am able to share my experience and intensive solutions that I can give to the participants. First of all, let me share some my presentation of SME challenges in cross-border e-commerce towards COVID-19 pandemic. And everyone knows that since March this year, everyone is facing the kind of pandemic that everyone had to be locked down and face all the stress. And also, a lot of companies have started to boom up because of the COVID-19 pandemic, and also the situation whereby the sales have dropped, but certain sales have gone up, and people are absorbing e-commerce as part of their business. As you can see in my first slide, e-commerce and COVID-19. And since COVID-19 have enlightened a lot of brick and mortar companies, to transform e-commerce as part of their business revenue functions, and it's not a competition, but it's a revenue whereby to improve their sales towards this career, because you can see from the result of the survey, people are shopping online due to the pandemic, because they are locked down, they cannot go anywhere. The only thing that they have to do is they only can shop through online, and online becomes part of everybody's lifestyle. And that's why people have to shop online. And e-commerce is the only way, and a lot of brick and mortar companies are starting to transform e-commerce as part of their business revenue. You can see from the chart, you can see that the shoot up of a lot of sales from the cross-border e-commerce based on a lot of products like FMCG, from the medical, from the health products, and so on. So these are the ways that we have to see that internationally, more than 50% people are shopping online, People go to the marketplaces, they have no choice because there's the only way that the items that they want, they can only ship to their house during this pandemic. I can see that from the chart, the second slide, you can see this, that what are the products that are in demand, during this pandemic, and what the products are not in demand, So you can see that a lot of medical items, a lot of health items, a lot of consumer items like food, like baby items, accessories, and also the usage product that need to be used at home, so that they cannot go out to buy it. Retail have been shut down due to the pandemic, so they have to shop online, and this is the only way they can get these items, to go along with their lifestyles. And people are asking this question: if I buy something online, is it safe during COVID-19? People are so scared of the cluster. People are so afraid of the spread of the virus. So first question before they buy online: is it safe I buy these products online? So these are the questions people have been asking, not only in Malaysia but globally. So we can find that a lot of products nowadays, people who buy on the online, they are safe because during the transition periods, there are temperature who are certain being during the transmission of the logistic and the supply chain, so it is more safer, and WHO has really stated that, so far there have not much cases that whereby all the delivery have a spread of COVID-19 or the cluster. So you can see that a lot of companies who are involved in brick and mortar, they are really starting to learn and convert their brick and mortar into e-commerce. And the existing e-commerce online are having booming sales, since the pandemic. And people, the buyers are learning how to shop online, how to pay through digital payment. And this helped the country in the digital economy. And you can see that a lot of structure that how the supply chain and the logistic handle your sales order, in a very process way to order that this pandemic COVID-19 do not infect the products. So people are very concerned that if I send out my parcel, someone handle my parcel, do the virus contain in the product or what. So there are procedures, there are steps that we have to take precaution to ensure your parcel are sanitized. For example, the people who arrange to do the process of supply chain, people who do the packing, they have to be sanitized their hand, they have to wear gloves to pack the parcel to ensure before passing on to the delivery or last mile fulfillment for them to deliver to the customers. So far there's no much cases to prove that the online sales order are infected with COVID-19. Only recently you can see the news that you can see the frozen fruit, from China, they have evidence of COVID-19 virus. So now authorities have been taking steps to ensure all frozen fruit, to be checked, ensure that is how these preventions that COVID-19 cannot be spread through frozen fruit. So these are the measures. So a lot of measures, supply chains and manufacturers have to do a lot of procedures to ensure that all compliance that their products, especially frozen fruit, are met the kind of requirement to avoid such contaminations, so that the customer will receive without any problems. Even though it's to play safe, even buyers who want to receive the parcel, we also advise them, before they receive the parcel, make sure you sanitize the parcel. Make sure you sanitize your hands before you open your parcel, before you check your parcel items. So this is a preventive measure. So, and a lot of SME issue in the cross-border e-commerce. What are the issues SME are facing, even especially during this pandemic? So they have seen that suddenly the sales drop. So they all now want to transform into e-commerce. So what are they thinking about? Worries about during this pandemic. So they're thinking about high operating costs. Of course, the government have taken measures to help out those SMEs in terms of grants, in terms of loans or everything. So you can see that high operating cost is one of the things, logistics and warehousing costs. So you can see the costs that incur during this pandemic, you can see a lot of things. And a lot of SME do not understand cross-border payment. They got a lot of cross-border payment, there are so many ways to start a cross-border payment, and they were so curious about, were there money received by me in time? You know, because recently you can see a lot of, during the MCO, you can see a lot of fraud, scam, online purchases. You know, and you can see the police have reported millions of dollars of sales of fraud. So these are the things. So the SME are very concerned, you know, stock given out and there's a payment issue that they're not received. And SMEs, you know, there are small, micro SMEs, and also they also lack of expertise. You know, they cannot just listen and do. So they have to verify, you know. So they lack of expertise on e-commerce fundamentals. And the next one we have said of financial support. So they need financial support during this pandemic, you know, to keep their staff, to maintain their operation costs, to prevent any layoff of staff. So they need financial support to overcome that kind of situation. And the next one will be the barriers. What kind of barriers is faced? Because for them to convert or to accept e-commerce as part of their business revenue, so they will face a lot of situations whereby what kind of barriers they will have. You know, do my staff have the kind of skills? Do the management have the kind of knowledge? Or they just listen to the Google search and get your information there. So that do not really guarantee them any full information. And the next one is about cross-border marketplace policy. Every country, a lot of countries have their own marketplace, especially like India, Russia, Thailand, you know, China, Indonesia. So each country cross-border marketplace have their own policy. Even the threshold have a different policy. And this kind of policy changes. It's not stagnant. It changes when times go by. It could be one time every month. It could be once every 2 months. So these are things that the SME cannot cope up with the kind of changes. And the second one will be the marketplace subscription cost. To open an online store in a marketplace, especially in cross-border, it's a cost to them. You know, they have to hire people, they have to pay the kind of amount to open an account and set up everything. So this is a cost they are facing, that's why due to the financial constraint. And of course, the last one will be high automation cost. To enhance their product, they need to have high automation costs so that they can keep up with the momentum of orders when the supply in demand. And the next one, we talk about SME e-commerce cross-border concern and worries. You know, so when you see they have the products, so wherever they want to go to online in e-commerce, they always worry about is my product allowed to sell in that country, especially in cross-border. They have no problem selling in Malaysia. You know, Malaysia, they have this kind of halal certification. Malaysia have this one GMP. They have this one approval. So, but other countries, they have their own different regulations. Certain countries, they have prohibited items. So, and they do not know how to do the posting. Even they have 3-4 accounts. You know, different countries have their different system of how you do your product posting, how you do your approval, how you do your compliance, different country compliance. And the second one, you talk about logistics. And logistics is one of the crucial one because some of the products you need to have import permit. You know, some product you need to have approval items that they approved by the authority before you can sell. So these are all controlled by the marketplace. And how you get approval and it takes times and SME are facing to challenges. How am I going to update, follow, and how I'm going to manage so many marketplaces at one time? You know, and sometimes the staff turnover could be very high, and that could left out the knowledge and what is happening in due time. So you can see the customs also one issue because they need to know the custom when they arrive there and know the clearance, especially custom clearance. And you can know that currently the World Customs Council have really come to the picture that how they're going to resolve a lot of custom issue for the individual country, especially in APEC countries. You know, this will we have to address so that parcel, B2C, parcel e-commerce delivery cross-border will be more effective and smooth and faster. And the next one will be the storage. A lot of SME have this story, so that they find that it eat a lot of place, so they need place where people can give for them for the consignment, so they can sell more goods, sell more place. And spacing is also costly. If your product is not turning over, so it seems that your product is not turning over, that will affect your cost in your storage spaces. So you need to have insurance to protect your products. You need to have security to protect your products, so to ensure your products in good condition and is safe. So now I want to highlight to you, there's a new trend for SME for cross-border e-commerce. A new trend where you need a supply service provider to help you to sell your product cross-border. So that it's an economic way for you to test your product. It's an economic way for you to bring your brand awareness. You can see a lot of people, SME, who do not have these advantages because they take a risk whereby they go to exhibition, overseas, and other countries do not know their product. So they spend about 50,000, 60,000 per event, and people who shop there, they do not know your brand very well, haven't tested your brand very well. So it's good that if you can bring your product to test in e-marketplaces, around APEC countries, so like you can see here, you can have IndiaMart. IndiaMart is the number one B2C and B2B marketplace in India. You have eBay is globally. You have the Tala.com, who are one of the top in Thailand. So you have GRT. GRT is the B2B first Russia marketplace in Russia that very popular, whereby people want to shop through in Russia, and they are all preferably a lot of buyers. In Russia, they can see that their online buyers has come to about 70%. That's a very huge market for Russia. And we have e-Roman, it will be covering Middle East, Middle East country like Dubai, Arab Saudi, all the halal products, cosmetics, halal, and also the Blibli for Indonesia. So in this service provider, in the trend of new e-commerce, they are more effective in the sense that they handle your social media for you. They give you video production for you to promote your products, and they also give you consultation in case you want to know some knowledge about e-commerce and how the cross-border to be done. So it gives you consultation to guide you how to do about it. And there's no hidden cost, there's no transaction cost, there's no product posting cost, and you need to worry about delivery, all have been taken care of. That's why it's a new trend of using a service provider, for your e-commerce cross-border. And you can see how the e-commerce cross-border service provider process. Here is a rough summary guideline, how the process will guide SME process, a company to go global cross-border. And you can see from here that, the service provider will help you do all the product processing, the approval of your product in that particular platform, in that particular country. It's not easy, but it's challenging, but it can be done. Rather than you need to get so many process. Like for example, in China, if you want to bring a product to get approval in China, it takes 6 months to 1 year. And that I'm not guaranteed there's a result there. So these are the one way we have to tackle. A service provider with that kind of knowledge and experience can help SME to go cross-border e-commerce, to bring their brand awareness, to test their market. Everyone needs to test a market. You cannot take a risk, spend 100,000 ringgit, just bring to the market and without understanding different country, different value, different needs. So in this way, you need to test the market where your product value at. Certain product may be good at certain countries, certain product demand are different countries. So you can see here, the service provider will upload the product for you, get approval, your brand, your permit, and you no need to worry about cross-border payment. Everything will be done by the service provider, and they have the good part is they help you keep some stock space, consignment stock space for you without any charges, insurance cover, and this will help you, free up your own store warehouse so that you can move out some stock that you can. Service provider can help you sell off your products through a consignment stock, and also it helps whereby in your B2C and B2B, we have to verify whether the buyer, are genuine buyer, especially B2B. We need to know whether the B2B buyer who are buying in cargo or buying in carton are genuine buyers. So we need to verify the buyer before we can to really make a deal and sell the product to them. Because in this current situation and this pandemic, if we can find that a lot of scam, a lot of fraud buyers nowadays. So we have to ensure that the merchant have the genuine buyers to buy your stock. And you can see the next one we have go through is all the logistic, all the custom clearance is handled by the service provider. So the SME no need to worry about a lot of doubts, who I need to appoint logistic, who I need to appoint to ship my product, how is the customer clearance, or what is the threshold for different. So these are the worries that the SME no need to worry, because the service provider will help you to resolve that already, to handle already. All they need to focus on the sales and the production of their products. So you can see that, and all the process, the whole process you go through, and how the remittance of the sales payment to the SME bank accounts. The next one we are highlighting is who are we? Who are bodyguard we are talking about? We have 8 years in e-commerce intensive experience and consultation in APEC countries. We have been doing from China, Hong Kong, Thailand, Indonesia, India, and Russia. So we know what are the situation and needs, that to market your product globally. And we are also a member of the World E-commerce Industrial Alliance. And currently, as I know that we are the only Malaysia company who are a member of the World E-commerce Industrial Alliance. Just give us a privilege that you can help to resolve a lot of e-commerce cross-border issues, especially in terms of custom clearance. And we also the e-commerce partner for the Jumo e-commerce. Jumo e-commerce is a B2B platform in Jumo. They are the top 3 in the China market, whereby they sell to over 100 countries globally, and buyers from over international companies. And also as well, we are the member of the Matrix. We are supporting Matrix to do all e-commerce cross-border benefit to the SMEs. And also we work with global e-commerce partners. We work with global partners from China, from Russia, from India, from Thailand, as well as Indonesia. And we are also one of the e-commerce consultants certified by US Academy. Thank you very much for taking your time to understand my presentation. If you have any questions about e-commerce cross-border or on any topics or on my presentation, you may drop your question in your line, and we will take your question after the whole presentation. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Vincent Cheong. Very interesting point, and all these points were from his own experience. I think whatever that he highlighted just now, I think maybe the similar issues that are being faced by our SMEs. Yeah. Okay. I think for those of you, the viewers outside there, don't worry about the PowerPoint here, because for those of you who missed the last 2 days session, we have panel 1 until 4. You can also watch that from the website www.exportday.my. It has been downloaded there for the day 1 and day 2, and just click on the view it now. Yeah, so you can see for today's one will be downloaded later. Okay, I would like to move to the next panelist, Encik Abdul Azhari Abdul Wahid. Yeah, okay. Encik Abdul Azhari is the founder and chief executive officer of Academy Usahawan Micro. Full name is Malaysia Micro Enterprises Academy. Yeah? And also the president of the Santai Reflexology at Kelai 2. He holds a honors degree of Bachelor in Electronic Engineering from University Tenaga Nasional. He's an engineer by qualification. Yeah? He has extensive experience in international oil and gas management and holds various positions, namely business consultant, account manager, and area manager. He is commonly known as the #1 low-budget marketing seafood in Malaysia, and worked with micro entrepreneurs group, associations, foundations, NGOs, and individuals. And so far, he has managed to help over 10,000 entrepreneurs throughout the country in enhancing their business through personal coaching, small group coaching, workshops, seminars, and talks since 2007. In addition to holding the degree in electronic engineering, he is also a chartered accountant, yeah, and a member of Brand Image Consultant Association. He also currently manages several businesses, namely Santai Reflexology at Kalaitu, a boutique online, bajubesar.my, mini cafe, and a homestay in Perak. As far as the award is concerned, he was awarded with the Pride Award from the President Chevron International in 2007 for the achievement of his $1 million sales, and was nominated for Most Community Impact for Business Excellence Awards 2013 in Sydney, Australia. Mr. Azhari also had appeared and has been interviewed by Asru Awani, Mobile Magazine, TV Selangor, BFM 89.9, Capital TV, Bernama TV, Berita Harian, Utusan Malaysia, NST, Star, TV9, RTM, National FM, and Awana Radio. He won the Young Entrepreneur Awards by the Minister of Youth and Sports Malaysia in 2014. In 2015, his company, Academy Usaha Micro, was awarded the Pioneer in Micro Entrepreneurship Development by the Malaysian Prime Minister during the Perhimpunan Gerakan Renaissance Melayu in Bukit Jalil in 2017. He has also been honoured with honorary award which carries the title of STE by the Association of Lecturers and Experts of the National Industrial in Malaysia and Ministry of Human Resources. In 2019, he was selected as the top 30 M-Bank BizRace 2019. Okay, now I would like to hand over the floor to Mr. Azhari.
Okay.
The floor is yours, sir.
All right, thank you. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And a very good afternoon. First of all, thank you, JD, for such a very overwhelming introduction. And thanks to Madrid for inviting me, representing Academy Usaha Micro AUM, to share on our journey and how can we assist pre-exporter and exporter to have much more knowledge in terms of how to create a powerful brand for e-commerce cross-border. So today I would like to share with you guys, those who are listening today, on how unique branding will make your business recognized internationally. This is what we have been doing for the last 13 years, and our academy has been in the industry for the last 6 years by the brand of Academy Usaha Micro AUM. And if you can see from here, let's look at the components, the components of how can you digitalize your exporters through online, right? There are so many exporters in Malaysia, but unfortunately, based on our research done by our academy, not many are in online yet, so there's huge opportunity for us to embark into online and e-commerce, like you said by our colleague previously. And I would like to share with you what are the 3 main components for you to make sure that you have a very powerful presence over in online. First one is obviously your social media, right? This is the platform for you to do your marketing internationally. And secondly, obviously, you need a proper website, a corporate website that will bring your unique branding, that will be recognized internationally as well. And if you look at here, of course, when you have marketing, you have a proper online HQ like your corporate website, you need to have an e-commerce for you to sell. Our colleague from Burikat just now has mentioned about how can you leverage on the marketplaces so that you can have a very powerful multi-channel web store. So these are the latest trend that exporters should look into, or rather the pre-exporter or aspiring exporter to look into how can you bring your brand powerfully in international level and create a very interesting multi-channel web store. All right, but people will be asking, I'm an exporter, why do I need to have a unique brand? I've been following my trade to go for exhibition. We have been following the agency to go somewhere else, physically before COVID-19. But coming COVID-19, the good thing is that people will be more digitally aware on how important is online for them to bring their brand internationally, cross-border. So we need to know why do we need to have a very unique brand. When I mention about unique brand, ladies and gentlemen, it's about unique. It has to be very unique. So why do you need to have that? First is your recognition. Because when you do online, people need to recognize you, especially those people are coming from other country. Besides going through Matric, they need to know about your presence in Google, in your website, in your marketplaces, cross-border marketplaces. And secondly, impression. The moment they look at your powerful websites, a corporate website, they know that, okay, this company is worth for me to talk to supply or to buy from this particular company from other countries. And you have to make sure that you stand out, because there's so many competition in online. The online competition is much bigger than offline. So everybody can be in online. So you have to make sure that you stand out. Your brand is very powerful and stand out. And of course, it will give a quality and value to your future stakeholders, your client especially, and also your partners, your government agencies from other countries. So that will create a very powerful quality communication with the other parties. And of course, you can create a very powerful experience when they look at your proper corporate website, corporate unique branding. They will know that, okay, this is something that we want to talk to, something that we can experience along the journey of talking cross-border internationally. And of course, it will create a loyalty. If you look at the brand that we show there, Coca-Cola, IBM, people know about the brand, and that creates loyalty for your customers to start buying from you and continue buying from you cross-border. And of course, where being is cross-border, you might not have the chance to meet the clients every day offline, so it has to be doing online. Credibility is very important, right? So that's why we believe that in our academy, we have to sell the experience, not the product. So when you have a good branding, inshallah, you'll be known much better internationally. And the next question, I've created a very powerful HQ online. All right, people from other countries will know us. Right? Where do we sell? All right, where do we sell? What do we need to have multi-channel web store? What do you mean by multi-channel anyway? All right, so very simple. The reason why you need to have a multi-channel web store. First, of course, this is the main issue that is faced by most of the SME and exporters in Malaysia and in fact in other countries as well. Customer database. The moment we have a customer database, you can capitalize on that and use that to promote your product and services, not just in your own country, but other countries as well. And of course, when you have a powerful brand in all of the channel of the web store that you can go to, or the marketplaces, virtual malls, you have a much stronger brand. People believe more in your brand, right? And of course, understanding audience. When you have a database, you can study your data, you can go through your data so that you know what they would like to buy, where do they buy, when do they buy, which platform that they used to buy. I think that is very important, because you will not be able to meet the buyers, from other countries or even from Malaysia. So, and the best part, when you have your own virtual mall, for example, ladies and gentlemen, you can have your own rules. By having a different platform, you have to abide the rules within the platform. But you have your own kedai, your own mall, virtual mall. You can help create your own rules. And of course, this is Matrix. We're talking about exporting cross-border. It has to be scalable. Your product has to be scalable to be sent over to other countries as well. And of course, people now talking about social media. Other countries talking about social media, want to know more, to know you better, so they need to know about how you engage your customers. Engagement is very important. You can have a chat over in your web store. You can have contact number, email. So engagement is extremely important. And the best part, when you have your own web store, cross-border, you can start selling and it's faster, right? So now, unfortunately, 70% of Malaysian SME does not even have a proper website to represent your brand internationally. And 1.56 billion domains and websites in the world, 75% of them are not even active. These are the challenge by exporters to make sure that the brand is maintained, well maintained internationally, so that people will remember you. Alright, so these are the 7 main reasons why people do not have a proper web store. First one is people feel that, exporters feel that it is relatively expensive. There's no IT knowledge at all. We cannot do anything about it. And no time to do it, busy with business, very complicated, so many things to do, no IT support, very difficult to manage. And of course, for those who have a good presence, the maintenance is always an issue. Alright, so these are the challenges that is faced by most of the exporter or aspiring exporters. You look at the statistic, on how do shoppers start doing online, start buying online. Most of them will go directly to Google. Obviously, they will find you in Google. If you don't have a proper brand, they might not even find you in Google, and you lose a lot of opportunity. And secondly, they will go directly to your site, either your HQ site, your corporate website, your marketplaces, or even your virtual malls. They will look into that, and they will look back in the Facebook so that they will know how does this brand react to the buyers, and how does the buyers react to the brand. So these are the main important consideration for the exporters, aspiring exporters, to look into how can you bring your product cross-border, right? So the question now, how do we start our export via cross-border? Our friend just now has mentioned about multiple platforms. Very, very good, very, very powerful. So look into the opportunity in Bodycard. All right, and the first one that you need to know, first, ladies and gentlemen, please grab your unique brand domain. That is the most basic international recognition for your brand. And secondly, create your professional corporate website. You need to have that, right? If you don't have that, people will not know you. And the third one, look into having your brand, your product and services in marketplaces, all right, and virtual mall, especially those who are in services. You might not be able to put in marketplaces, but you have to have your own virtual mall to buy your vouchers, your tickets, for example. So look into that kind of opportunity, and we can help you in that sense, right? And in our academy, we have a program, right? We have been doing this for the last 3 years for this particular project, where you can create your powerful, unique brand using multi-channel web store, because people are always thinking how to create a powerful brand, a website, a corporate website. So it's always a question for aspiring exporters as well as exporters, right? So like mentioned by Chari just now, we have been winning a lot of awards. This is the award that we won award in UN, United Nations SDG, where our program, we have been helping a lot of B40 to be digitalized. And being a partner of MDAC, we would love to bring you more to be doing cross-border. So we have the platform to assist you in that sense, because we have been doing this. In fact, our brand, Academy of Micro, has been recognized with a lot of international event. We have been in Dublin last year. We were in Korea. We were also in Germany. We were supposed to fly to Turkey, but came COVID-19, so we have to cancel the whole thing, and the event was cancelled. So we were top 10 semi-finalists and finalists. So we've embarked the journey of bringing the brand of Academy of Micro internationally. So we would love to share that to all the aspiring and current exporters. So our alumni, this very interesting story. She's a manufacturer of furniture, affected obviously by COVID-19, but she still managed to deliver her products over in Singapore during COVID-19. But the problem is because of the suppliers, right? The brand is very powerful. People can look into her, and she won the award last year by increasing 6 times of her sales before online and after online. That's the powerful advantage on having a simple corporate website like katakayu.com, the one that we have been helping them for the last 2 years, right? So if you come to our session, we can help you to help you to monitor your advancement in terms of cross-border. We have coaching every 2 hours, every month. So in fact, last 2 days we had another coaching with our alumni. Previously it was physical, but now we can do it virtually. COVID-19, the good thing is that most of the SMEs is very well aware on digital. So please take this opportunity. Because for me, if COVID-19 doesn't change you to be digitalized, doesn't change you to go for cross-border, I don't know what will change you. So make sure that you change that immediately the moment that we're still under MCO now. All right, so what you can do a lot of things. We offer a lot of courses in our academy. We have been doing this for the last at least 3 years for this particular digitalization. I've been featured, like mentioned by Chihadi, in a lot of media, Sowani, you name it, talking about how to help SME to be digitalized. And obviously for Madrid wants to go cross-border. Cross-border is the solution now, because that is a much bigger market. People are looking at you now. People want to buy your product and services, right? And of course, the good thing in our academy, we have a platform, a very simple platform that you can simply convert your Facebook page into a very powerful website, and with a multi-channel web store. And I can work with Bodycard also as well on the e-commerce site, and it's only within 2 minutes. So it's very simple. You change your Facebook page into a corporate website, you update in your Facebook, it comes out to your website. Very simple. So we would love to give a very simple thing for you to be recognized internationally. We have done our job. We just want to share with you on how can you can bring your brand outside there. So In fact, for those who are listening through Zoom now, you can just screenshot, or you can just print screen. If you are looking from laptop, you can communicate directly with me. That's my number, and also that's the link that you can go to later in order for you to learn more. How can we help you to bring your brand recognized internationally? And remember, our brand in a very Malay humble word, Akademi Usahawan Mikro, and it has been recognized in all parts of the world. So we would love to share this to all the aspiring exporters and exporters to bring more local brand to be recognized internationally. So that's, in fact, if you also have the chance to become our early bird investors. So currently we are running our equity crowdfunding investment pre-marketing, so you can come on board to become our earliest bird investor as well. So please PM me. You got my number there. You can WhatsApp me. You can also have a chit chat with me through WhatsApp. So again, I would like to thank Matrade for giving us the opportunity to share our journey of bringing our brand internationally, especially those who are in services sector, the one who is more challenging. Alright, so please connect with me in Facebook, in Twitter, in Instagram, like everywhere. So thank you very much, Matrade, for this opportunity, and hope to see you again, insyaAllah. Stay strong, kita jaga kita, dan stay humble. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Encik Azhari. Very powerful message that we have just now is about if COVID-19 does not change you, then nothing will. Yeah. That is very powerful. Yeah. Okay. And since you are sharing some statistics there, I think I noticed that when we go into the internet, when we do a bit of research about cross-border e-commerce, there are many research houses doing some surveys. And one thing for sure, all this research, the common thing about numbers, what they are giving is all very big numbers. That is one thing for sure. I wanted to quote one, this is from the Forrester, one of the research house also. Some facts and figures about cross-border e-commerce. Cross-border shopping will make up 20% of e-commerce in 2022. Sales will reach $627 billion US dollar. And then another one is about 70% of consumers make at least one international purchase a year. This is another findings that they share. Cross-border trade sales will mark to be US dollar 300 billion a year in 2022. More than 21% of the global online trade is totally consists of cross-border trade. 67% of shoppers in the US at least spending 10% of their monthly online shopping through cross-border e-commerce. So these are the big numbers or big percentage which have been shared by many research houses, which is something that hopefully will trigger you to take the action, yeah, to consider going into this cross-border e-commerce. Now we move to our final speaker, Mr. Koh Tak Song. Yeah, Mr. Koh is the founder of KK Global E-commerce Enabler, who is passionate to help onboard Malaysia businesses to e-commerce. He is active key influencer in building inclusive e-commerce in Malaysia and bringing the benefits of e-commerce to secondary cities and rural areas. In last year, he had traveled to many secondary cities such as Setiawan, Teluk Intan, Kanga, and other rural areas to share his knowledge in e-commerce. So his passion is more into the rural area. Yeah? Okay, he had successfully provided training and onboard more than 200 businesses in local and international e-commerce platforms such as Lazada and eBay. His best record is helping a Perak business in cross-border e-commerce by tripling their sales and profit from 4 million ringgit to 12 million ringgit within 12 months. This has happened in 2015-2016. Yeah. Okay, he is currently Lazada ambassador, promoting the advantages of e-commerce in Malaysian northern region. He was also selected by Alibaba to attend the first Malaysia Netpreneur training program in Alibaba headquarters, and is also one of Matrade e-aggregator in our e-trade program. Prior to this, he obtained his MBA from University of Strathclyde in 2015, and his thesis is in regards to e-commerce consumer behavior. He was the head of fixed devices for Huawei in Malaysia from 2010 to 2014, and the key person to introduce Huawei VDSL modem in Malaysia Unify. And due to his contribution to Huawei, he was awarded the Best Employee Award for Huawei South Pacific Devices Division. He also had experience in African market when he served as the country manager for Nokia Care in Nigeria from 2006 to 2010. Mr. Ko, I would like to invite you to present your
Thank you, Encik Hadi. Thank you, Martrade, for inviting me. It's a humbling event. It's my first event in such a big virtual event. And as my abang has already said, right, MCO give a lot of challenge to the business, okay, in Malaysia now. But itself also a great opportunity for the business to transform themselves to be digitally and involve themselves in eBay. And KK means kita kongsi, KK e-commerce, we share e-commerce. What we want to do is to share our knowledge, okay, to help e-commerce business during their most difficult time, okay. So after the issue and challenges, right, I'd like to highlight, more positive and more why you should go into cross-border e-commerce by sharing a real and most recent success case, okay, which we did with a local manufacturer. Okay, so this local pillow manufacturer, he just manufacture pillow in Klang. It's a small factory, okay, and then in around starting 4 years before, they started to do their online business in Lazada. And in fact, now their pillows are the top seller in Lazada. We gathered a lot of good feedbacks and review. So you can see, Malaysia product can compete with other countries' product in Malaysia. The next challenge, of course, is working with Martrade and registration for the e-trade, and then we start exploring international market, okay, this one is in eBay. Okay, what's the result of the test? Because we do this in the COVID, okay? But why would we want to go there? Okay, why you should go to cross-border e-commerce? Okay, first reason is the price, okay? In Lazada, he can only, he sell the pillow at 12 ringgit 90 cents. But in eBay, he can, this one is a real order, he can sell at Audi 38 in Australia, ebay.com, which is a 9 times of improvement of the sales price, okay? So this is another pillow, he's selling at 10 times of the price he sell at cross-border eBay compared to what he's selling in Lazada, Malaysia. Because why? Because Malaysia is still very competitive in the sense of our costs, our living standard, and our production costs. So actually, Malaysia have a lot of opportunity selling overseas. I always talk to all those Lazada top seller. You don't be happy to become a kampong jago in Malaysia. Don't just stay in Malaysia, Lazada, Shopee. You should go and present Malaysia product in global marketplace and compete with global players like in eBay and in Amazon. And the price allows you to do that because we have the advantage, okay? So the biggest order we got in MCO is this. A pillow, the cover, selling for like 31 ringgit for 4 pieces in Lazada. We managed to sell this for USD 80.70 cents in eBay US. That is 11 times of price improvement. So the price is there to justify your venture into cross-border e-commerce. We can do it, we can really do it. And why we should do it? Because look at the local marketplace and the GMV transacted in global marketplace. As just now, Abang Hadi already put in the figures, but I give you a comparison in terms of visual. You can see how big global marketplace compared to a small local marketplace. Those small SME now very happy in Lazada, Shopee now because of the growth of e-commerce in Malaysia. You must put your eyesight overseas really now, You should challenge yourself to go overseas, okay? So after this, because when you do B2C in overseas, right, you start to gather the market proof. Because at times, you don't know whether you can sell or not. But through B2C platform like e-commerce, you can actually test your product. Because you sell B2C, right, there's a lot of de minimis in different countries like Australia and US. That means if you sell a product, you sell below 1,000, right, it's actually free of duty. because of the de minimis. And actually, because it's a small B2C parcel, a lot of certification, you can at times do not need to do that. It's a good way to test your market. So after you test your market, you gather your sales. This is the sales just last week, okay? We got like around 1 to 2 pillow sales per week, per day, and this is the sales. Now is the time to go to attack those B2B customer. And you should really join Matrade, because Matrade have this Matrade Development Grant, which help you to go overseas. And they're providing now is 300,000 to help you to go to trade fairs, to all those events. And in this MCO, actually they are subsidizing 30% of your shipping costs. That means you ship to other country, right? You can claim up to 30%. And that is another support from the countries which a lot of SMEs still not aware of it. And the most important is that there is free trade agreement. Actually, you can send, if you are a Malaysian manufacturer, you should get your certificate of origin. And for example, we are shipping this product pillow to Malaysia, Australia. We got a 500 pillow order in September, and we are going to ship it this month. And we are going to utilize this Malaysia-Australia FTA, free trade agreement, which will give us free duty. And how do we get these 500 pillows? Because once we do it in eBay, right? And when in all this, when we go to the B2B customer, we show them our eBay sales. We told them, you can see in eBay, we can sell at this price. But shipping from Malaysia to Australia per parcel is expensive. We are looking for a partner, We already have the business. We can pass the eBay business to you. If you are willing to become our international partner, and we can send by sea freight to you, and you can fulfill locally. That's where you prove your market, and you give a new business, an e-commerce business, to your potential B2B customer or partners in your target country. In this case, it's in Australia. And okay, this partner agreed to work with us, and the first order, 500 pillows, we are sending to Australia this month. Okay, and this is how you combine B2C and B2B to get the best cross-border sales opportunity for your business. Okay, and this is the most recent. That's why I put in the most recent. There's a lot of successful case, but I want to share you the most recent success case happened in this period of MCO, because it's the best opportunity now to do it. Okay, with the growth of e-commerce, and also with Matrade support. And Matrade is actually really doing a very wonderful job, giving support and at this virtual event, right, for you to export cross-border. So SME don't stay in Malaysia, go to global stage, because the market size is so big and the price is so good. Okay, what is Flu Journey? Okay, they started selling local. Then they create their content local, all those content to sell in Lazada, all this. Then third, they start to do market research, and they selected Australia. We selected Australia because there's good market research. And then we start doing our global cross-border shipping and fulfillment. And now we are going to maximize and duplicate it in multiple markets globally. Okay? So if you should start locally to build your experience, but after that, you should go by stage. And then at the end, you should have your product seen in all over not over Malaysia, all over the global markets, in US, in Australia, in any countries which you can reach. Because developing a market, developing a product sometimes is more hard than developing a new market. And e-commerce gives you the access to develop new market much more efficiently and easily. Okay, so who are we? Okay, we are same as we are the eNED NESR partner. We are from Perak. Okay, because we work from secondary cities. We are not in KL. I'm in a small town in Ipoh, helping Perak and the northern area business. Okay, so we are also Matrade e-aggregator, helping business to onboard to eBay in 2019 to 2020. We are invited to become one of the Alibaba netpreneur, attending 2 weeks how to build this inclusive e-commerce in Alibaba HQ. We are also the Lazada ambassador, okay, to help also promote e-commerce to all the sellers, all the business in Malaysia. This is my one full page coverage by Sinchiu. Thank you very much, Sinchiu. Okay. So, what is our future plan? Okay, of course, we want to expand our market. As I said, it's easier to expand market than to create, sometimes to create a new product. So, we are working with Janio. Okay, we want to build we want to share how to do it in Southeast Asia market. Okay, and Southeast Asia market is near to us, and it's easier for us. We have that advantage to sell to them through cross-border e-commerce. And this is the market in this region. Of course, Indonesia is one of the biggest. And the top 6 export categories is shown there. So if you're one of those categories there, you should really look into Southeast Asia also. Okay? And what is the common pain? Okay, but I will not go into details because my colleague have talked about this very clearly just now. It's the cost, your coverage, your custom, and the complexity. And we believe that working with Janio, which have experience providing services in all these areas, we can help expand business in more cross-border countries now in Southeast Asia. How do we do it? Okay, we are not really focusing on become a service provider. We are focusing on sharing. So we will conduct a lot of webinars with partners from Bilibili or from Janio or from eBay, so that they can share to you how do you do. So our plan is to have like a lot of webinars sharing how we do it. Okay, in October, November, and December. And if you are interested in joining all those webinars, sharing session, this is our contact. Okay, this is my contact, my email, my number. But we always announce new development in our website and also our Facebook page. Okay, so if you want to know about our future sharing webinars, please just join our Facebook page, which we will keep posting new webinars to share to you how we do it and how you can do it. You know, and again, this MCO COVID-19 is the best opportunity because that's where the government effort is now also to transform Malaysia business into digital business in e-commerce. There's so much support now for you to do it. I will have to say 6 months later down the road, 12 months later down the road, the business, after so many people on the KK e-commerce, maybe, hopefully the support will continue, but at times when the market mature, then the government will withdraw because they can already stand alone already. But right now, there's so many support from eNED, from Matrix, from so many government agencies, and it's the best time, you know, from Penjana, from all this, it's the best time to go into e-commerce. You know, everywhere you see Penjana, you go to Lazada shopping, you see Penjana voucher. You know, so many agencies putting their effort, and you should take this golden opportunity to digitalize your business, to go to e-commerce and become a global brand representing Malaysia and make Malaysia proud. Thank you very much. This is all from me. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Koh. Thank you for the endorsement of government's effort in helping all the companies in Malaysia. Okay, what we'll do now is that before we take the question and answer, as I mentioned earlier, there's an e-trade program that we run in the past, which we'd like to show a very short video, a 2 minutes video. This video is about one of the companies which enrolled into our e-trade program. A summary of how they go through and what they have done so far and how they have been successful in their cross-border e-commerce journey. And through this e-trade program, basically, we have many other also success stories whereby many first-time exporters, they're exporting through e-commerce. They have never exported before. They have now through this e-trade program, they managed to export, become the first-time exporters, and also created a lot of new market. We call it uncommon market. Countries like Togo, Rwanda, Maldives, these are the new market that we can see through this cross-border e-commerce. Also, the emergence of these uncommon products like I'm not sure whether in English, but they call it daun ketapang. This is one example which being exported to the US. Gula kabung, coffin handle. These are the kind of things that we rarely heard is being exported. But through e-commerce, this is how things start to move. Yeah. Okay. Is the video ready? Can we play the video?
Sharing one bottle of soybean milk with my 4 siblings, that was my childhood. One year, we received expired chocolate. It was heartbreaking, maybe more so for our parents. And I wish it would never happen to anyone. I started WEMS in the 90s to supply good quality FMCG products. Now with my children growing the business, I'm proud how far we have come.
So we trade over 1,000 SKUs, including confectioneries, biscuits, beverages, and household products. We also develop our own brands, Kiko for food, So Free for household goods, and Osani for beverages. Our achievement today is through doing business online. In 2017, we took up the e-trade incentive by Matrade to help the SMEs to do global export through e-commerce. We became an Alibaba.com seller that year as we needed a global platform with ready B2B buyers. The real challenge was that we didn't have any e-commerce experience. So we joined the trainings provided by Alibaba.com to improve it.
At first, the buyers did not respond. After about 6 months, we finally got an order of 1 container from a buyer in Tonga Island in South Pacific region. He's a regular customer now and just placed an order of 4 containers last month. Today, we supply to Middle East, Russia, Southeast Asia, and South Pacific region. Some have become friends, just like our Cambodian buyer who visited us with his whole family. Today, 80% of our new customers come from online and making up about 40% of our annual revenue. And we managed to secure $90,000 in March and April alone this year. Since joining Alibaba.com 3 years ago, we have doubled the growth of our company size.
What I consider an achievement today is bring Malaysian products global. That's the dream. Through e-commerce, we have a legacy that we are proud of.
Thank you. I hope that video will inspire those, particularly those who are at the moment still considering whether they should go into cross-border e-commerce or not. Yeah? Okay, I think all the 3 panelists have already shared with all of the audience their experience, tips, the journeys, what are the things that do's and don'ts. So if you have any questions which are not covered by the presenters, this is a time that I would like to open for question because we have 30 minutes reserved for question and answer. Okay, let's start with the first question. Okay, this is from anonymous attendee. Okay,
So fast.
what is your opinion on the government's current discussion on imposing additional charges, 20 cents to 40 cents per transaction for online purchases? Oh, this is very, very hot. I think this is one just in the news 2 days ago. Yeah. I think this question is not directed to any of you, but then I would like to hear from all of you, just general view. Maybe we'll start with Mr. Vincent first.
Okay, you can see the online transactions. In Malaysia, locally, you can see a lot of transactions because people who buy online, they are not only, if you want to impose additional transaction, because we don't currently have a lot of transaction like credit card transaction, those by paying by credit card or payment gateway, you have this kind of transactions. So if you don't see the amount is small, 20 cents, but when you accumulate, it's very big. what happened to the buyers who spend monthly about 3,000 to 5,000, expenditure, for that. So if for them it be additional cost, for them to be additional cost to the buyers who want to buy, to shop online. And there will be a negative impact to the e-commerce buyers. For them, it's a cost because during the pandemic, buyers are very constrained on what they want to buy. Yeah, they are very cost effective. You want to see what are things supposed to buy, what are not supposed to buy. So by incurring additional charges, so that hinder the government initiative to help the buyers, to help the consumers during this pandemic. So I don't think so is the right time, in the right time to impose. It should be that everything go back to a normal situation where the economy is stable, then we can think of other ways, because now you have charges for payment transactions, and some of the charges that impose not for the buyer, and also impact to the seller. Not only for buyer, seller. Seller, there are also transactions from the marketplace like Shopee, Lazada, they have. So for the seller also feel that there will be a burden for the buyer to impose, because seller also have to take care of the cost when you have imposed additional.
Okay.
So the time is not right, and it shouldn't be during this pandemic.
Right. Mr. Azhari, what's your point?
Okay, for me, I have the same wavelength as our colleague Vincent here. I think this is the time for, instead of giving extra charges of 30 cents or even 40 cents, whatever amount, it should be giving discount or rebate. You need to encourage people to spend, online especially. So, I mean, as a rakyat marhain, some people will feel like this is it like unnecessary charge for us to pay extra, right? But the government should be encouraging us to spend more, so that the economy will get better. People spend more, economy is growing, then we can, inshallah, combat the COVID-19. And I don't understand why these things suddenly come out from the whoever that is giving the idea. But then I understand, because I just made to understood that the 20 cent and 40 cent will be given to the B40. That's what I made to understand from the article that's come out in the news. But as a seller, as a buyer, I think that will hinder us. You know what happened to even when we put the 20 cent because of the plastic in hypermarket? People will think more than twice to start going to places like Maidin and the gang. So I wish government look deeper into this before you make a decision, and talk to us, the players, the industry players, and talk to the Rakyat Marhain as well before we impose anything that I think is going to be very sensitive. It's going to be a big hoo-ha among the Rakyat, and being a new government like what we have now, please be open-minded, talk to us, talk to our players, talk to the technical service providers, the e-commerce players, the Rakyat, so that we can have a common, better decision.
Mr. Koh, from your smile, I think you want to say...
I think for normal Malaysians or business sellers, nobody like additional costs. That's a fact, okay? But I just have this opinion that if it's inevitable that they are going to do this charge, they should actually tell the Malaysians what are they going to use with the money they collected. Are they going to use this money to generate more money in the future, like giving more scholarship or whatever, academy, or collaborate with training of SME? No, you should, whatever money you collected from the Rakyat, you should explain diligently how you're going to use the money to benefit back Malaysia. And if you have done this right, I think the resistance will be much lower. The problem is that it's just that we give, but we don't know what's happening with the money. So I felt that inevitable there will be taxes in the country to help the development grow, right? To help the development of the country. But what we want is that the money is used diligently for the benefits of the Malaysian, for the benefits of the business in Malaysia. Then if they can show their plan or this, then I will object less. Okay, then please go ahead, to help to build Malaysia.
Okay, thank you. But whatever it is, it's still at a proposal stage. Still open for discussion and so on. Okay, I hope the panelists already answered or give their views on this particular question. We will move to the next question. From Haji Muhammad Nordin Jafri. Nordin.
Good question.
I think you know all this, yeah? Okay. Would like to know whether the e-trade grants will continue for the year 2021. Many rural local entrepreneurs, companies, SME and cooperatives still require this assistance. This question is directed to me, I suppose. Okay, all right. Okay, thank you for the question. I know this question has become like a FAQ now. For e-trade, as all of you know, under RMK 11 is already completed. We have already stopped this one. But we do propose for the e-trade program to be continued under RMK 12 with enhancement. It's not as is now, but with enhancement. We have put up our proposal. We have defended our proposal to the central agencies, to MOF and so on. At the moment, we have to wait for this decision from the government. So as soon as we know this one, then we will let everyone know. But certainly, this is a program that Matrade feels is a good program. We have been showing all good results and so on. So we are really hoping that we will get to continue this program. Yeah. Okay. Next question. Anonymous attendee. Okay. Appreciate if the speakers share experiences relating to clearing overseas customs for cross-border e-commerce. This is a major problem for SMEs trying to do cross-border e-commerce from Malaysia. Or I think this is quite considered a common problem by all SMEs when they're talking about the clearing of their goods overseas. Again, this is also directed to all of you because you may have different perspective on this one. Maybe KK want to start first.
Yeah, I'm specialized in B2C e-commerce. So my suggestion is that if you are doing a small volume, okay, then take advantage of the de minimis. That means de minimis that if, let's say US is 1,000, Australia is 800 if I'm not mistaken. So every country have their own de minimis. De minimis means that if you sell to consumer directly, that means one small parcel, right? It's actually free duty. You know, free duty, you don't need to do any custom declaration or whatever, because you still need to do your commercial invoice, all this, but you don't need the by container type of custom declaration. And in times also, they are more lenient in the certification needs because it's a small parcel. So for small business, okay, if you don't know whether your product will sell or not, right, I will suggest test your market. Test your market first with like eBay, so that if you know you will sell, right, you have the market, right, you got the price, right, then you can proceed to invest in getting your certification, your proper engagement with a service provider to sell in bulk, okay? But again, before you do that, I always ask those who ask me, are you sure your product can sell? Or after you did everything, right, you sell one container, then cannot sell. Lagi teruk kan? So maximize the de minimis by selling B2C in eBay, and then you can actually have a leeway have an easier way in overseas customs. Some they will say that, wow, want to pack one piece. I say e-commerce packing one piece is like, you know, it's a very normal. We need to change, you know. It's not always one container, and one piece is the major way moving forward. You know, in just the MCO, post laju, one day have 600,000 small pieces going in, going out. Okay, so having the ability to fulfill per customer is a necessity in the world of e-commerce now and in the future. Okay.
Cik Azhari.
I think for the good thing about e-commerce is that, like mentioned by our colleague just now, it is an opportunity for you to start selling small parcels. Right, so we have less hurdles in terms of custom issues or whatnot. But in our academy, we believe that education is the key point for you to start selling cross-border. So please be aware on whatever programs that's been given by government, Matrade especially, to do cross-border, and please attend the courses. Now it's even easier because of we can do it virtually. You can just click one link, then you can just join. And I always mention this to all of the aspiring exporters and exporters as well. How do we bring our brand internationally, especially service sector, right? market is huge, and 86% of our Malaysian SME contribution is coming from the service sector. So service sector is much easier for you to go through to export your service overseas. So grab the opportunity and start learning. I think if you don't learn, I always mention this in media, that instead of being, sometimes kita ni, we are just being, instead of being peka digital, sometimes we become pekak digital. You know, so we need to be peka, we need to be aware of the digital initiative by Matrade, by other agencies, you know. Don't be so peka, you have to be aware, learn, come on board. You know, so if you don't, then when we have issues, then you come back to the government. I think that's not fair. You gotta learn, you know the procedure, the SOP, that I think it's just a matter of delivering it over to your customers. Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Cheong, anything you want to add on this particular questions?
Based on the questions that I see is, I can share something like, when you want to, SME want to send something, e-commerce product, to different country, different compliance. I can share you some experience, like, you see, if you go to Vietnam, you know, so you have to ensure the courier provider, they have sufficient knowledge to help you to clear the custom, because certain country custom are very, very different. You know, for example, like a lot of parcels sent to, especially B2C, okay, when you send to there, the country custom do not know what is the HH code of that product. So that is the reason why your product stuck in the custom for days or week. So these are the problem, major problem, not only in Vietnam but other countries. Not like some countries, they are easier, like for China. You want to import things to China, you know, if you go through marketplace, like for example, like JD.com, you know, so the JD.com will work with the marketplace, will have to work. It's a law in China that they have to work with the supply chain logistic provider. That is a law for China. But for other countries, it's very independent. So for example, like Indonesia, you know, so wherever marketplace, they have to go, they want to define what is the HH code. And your parcel have to enclose your picture, because you don't want your parcel to be opened by the customs. You know, so these are the issues that faced by different country customs. You know, but now recently the customs, World Customs, I want to work out using scanner and also AI to define, you know, what product is in your parcel. So the process of the challenges for the SME to export your product to overseas, whether it's B2C or B2B, first you have to identify your HH code. That is very, very important, so that the custom won't hold your product. Second, you have to attach what is the picture of your product and its ingredients. You know, what it made of. Let's say for the handphone, what is the handphone inside, the components. If a food, what is the food made of, what kind of flour is it contain, you know. So they need something, they need certification, they need, so sometimes you can see that a lot of custom clearance stop at different country because of documentation, because of compliance. And some of them do not realize that certain products are prohibited in certain country. For example, like Vietnam, you know, somebody want to buy something, they want to buy some a platform in Singapore, so they want to buy a medicated oil. But they do not know that medicated oil is a prohibited item in Vietnam. So that item is stuck in custom in Vietnam. So the buyer cannot claim. You know, it will be held by the custom. So before a SME want to do a e-commerce cross-border, okay, so they have to understand what are the prohibited items different country. This is very. Then before you want to sell this, you have to know what are the prohibited items and what are the compliance. You see, you have to understand what are the cross-border shipping, courier documentation, you know, and also the HH code. Without HH code, I can tell you your product will stuck there, you know, and they will go through the courier, whether it's DHL or GLEX or whatever. They'll ask you, can you ask your seller to provide this documentation. So that's where the documentation and the process delay. So this is the situation. If you want to sell cross-border, that's why I can see a lot of challenges. I sell cross-border before, so I have to understand various countries of custom clearance, what they want, what the compliance. If this product is an electrical product, do you have their permit? For this product made from where, country of origin, like what Mr. KK mentioned just now. You need a certificate of origin from a manufacturer. Then you need to have certificate of approval, for the electrical product. So this kind of thing you need to attach, when I say for the custom to know what is the product. If you provide all the HS code with compliance documents, then the custom will not hold your product. This is my experience I can share with you. So you must understand different countries have different regulations.
All right, thank you. So there is no one standard answer for this, and for this particular issue also, it's also happen not only when you are doing cross-border e-commerce, when you're doing the normal shipping conventional way also, you still have to go through the same process also. Yeah. Okay, let's take another question. We still have time. From site, dear panelists, thank you for your kind brief about SMEs should adopting e-commerce and go online strategy. Please advise the best B2B platform available in the Malaysian market to support SMEs in all the way, end to end. The best B2B. Again, I don't think so there is one single answer for this one. You may propose another one. So again, each one of you, give your thought on this.
B2B, I have not much comment, but B2C, I think eBay and Amazon is one of the global largest marketplace which you can try, and many Malaysians have tried and be successful in B2C marketplace in eBay and Amazon. Okay.
I think for B2B, obviously the most well known is Alibaba.com. Right? That's the most well known. But being most well known doesn't mean that they are the best. Right? So for me, you look back on your products that you want to sell and get advice from the agency, of course, Matrade, for example, to fulfill your requirement according to your product that you want to look at for B2B. I think that is more important. Choosing a platform, you need to have knowledge to choose the right platform. It doesn't mean that Alibaba is the best, this one is not the best. No, it's a matter of how is your aspiration to bring your products or even services to other countries, especially on B2B, and engage with a lot of agencies so that you will understand more to pick which is so-called the best B2B platform for your product and businesses.
Okay, Mr. Vincent.
In my opinion, as what the other speaker said, there's no one who is the best. But when you want to sell something on B2B, okay, you must define what is your product and how is your product to be shipped. For example, I can give you, I have even customer asking me, Vincent, I have a mineral, mineral, what is mineral? Their mineral is a sand, it's a certain rock, certain rock. They want to sell to China, and China and Australia are very high demand of such a mineral. So depending on what your product, if your product is a furniture, so what is the product you want to sell? Maybe Amazon or maybe Alibaba. You see, even you want to sell a product in Amazon or Alibaba, you don't just put your product there and that's it. Then you say, oh, no sales. I have a customer from Alibaba saying that, hey Vincent, I put in my product in Alibaba, for 8 months, nothing. But you see, even you put in Alibaba or you put in Amazon, you still need to digitally promote. You don't put your product there. Even I'm a service provider. I have to promote my customer product in other country marketplace. I cannot just dump the product there and sell. Got customer got no. You still have to promote by using video, by using search engine. So these are the things that. There's no one good or bad. Everyone have their own strength. Amazon have their own strength. Alibaba have their own strength. And the power of buying is not from the platform. It's from the buyer in that database, marketplace database. They are the sole decision maker. So it depends. How are you going to tell good about your product? How are you going to express your product? you know, then how you going to promote a product? So don't put your product just in B2B platform and just leave it like that. No, you still need to promote. That's my opinion.
Okay, thank you. I hope that answers Tuan Said's question, yeah? Okay, we still have time. We can take one question from Winnie Leong. We are manufacturing RF cable assemblies and we have participated in Alibaba for more than 1 year. However, we have yet to see any result. How can we go about it? I think that one was covered by your answer just now. Yeah? Just now what Mr. Winter was telling is about doing the marketing, digital marketing.
How you promote your product, how you market your product, and how you put your product video, especially video. You see, in B2B, you have to have video nowadays. You don't put photo and that's it. You know, if you talk about just now, the question comes from a lady say she a manufacturer of cable. So she need to put a video promoting how good is your cable and what your cable can do. What is your quality of a cable like? Is it a compliance to this approval certified by this? So you have to promote. Just don't put the wire or how many how many length. You know, don't do that. Is very basic. But you need to promote who are the one who using your cable. You know, what's so good about your cable? What compliance your cable have? Safety features. You know. So in this way, you're able to convince the buyers to buy your product, or even test your product. Maybe I want to buy one box first to test whether your cable really works that good or not. So video and also some wordings, you know, posting wordings to attract customer to prove that your product have a quality. Don't talk about brand first. You show them the quality, then your brand will automatically come to the picture.
Okay. So Azhari, want to add anything?
Yeah, if I may add. I think this is where the unique branding corporate website play a very vital role, because in any B2B or B2C platform, you have some limitation in terms of expressing your product description or service description in that particular platform. So when you have your own particular websites, particular unique brand or web store, you can do whatever you want. Like I mentioned by our friend Mr. just now, you can put the video, you can put the certification, halal certification, GMP, HACCP, you name it. So this is the issue that is faced by most of the aspiring exporters, because they feel that putting in one platform settled already, then they blame the platform because they're not helping them. You got to make sure that, like mentioned by our friend here, promote. Because we look at the conventional way of people putting products in market, in shopping malls, for example, in My Day and in Giant. There are big brands who are still, giving testers to people. I mean, these are big brands like Nestle and the gang. They're still doing that. And why are we, not as big as Nestle, is not doing that in online? Promote that. Spend a bit money to do Facebook marketing, even Google AdWords marketing, so LinkedIn marketing. So this is very important. This is just a platform. Even though they have millions of traffic, make sure do your part as the seller, as the owner, to promote your product digitally and learn how to promote better in terms of cross-border and international recognition by other companies. Yeah.
So promotion is very important.
Very important.
You want to add anything?
Alibaba is a kind of different platform. So actually you have to treat this as a B2B business in the sense that you have to push your quotation out, answer the request for quotation more diligently. Because I understand if you are selling in Alibaba, you sure get quotation, okay? You should get request for quotation and you get those potential buyers. So it depends also on your sales capability. How do you want to close the deal with a B2B business? Okay, let's say if you just send a quotation, I mean, you should follow up with, if you can, a direct call or a direct message or whatever, to that business itself. Talk to the purchaser, or even if you can get connected to somebody, a key person in the organization which you target, right? Then you have higher chance of doing the B2B businesses. Because at the end, B2B business is different than consumer business. Consumer business, they click, they buy. B2B, they have to get 3 quotations. Get comparison, all this. That is the time you have to highlight why, even if you don't win the price, you should at least highlight why your product is better and more valuable, although it's higher price. You should take the initiative to approach the customer more aggressively, rather than, okay, ask me submit competition, I click, submit, then just sit there and wait. Then it's hard because B2B is not like that. B2B, you need to really go all out to get that business by proving yourself. You know, it's even much more harder than consumer because B2B is buying in large volume. They need to be sure. And those good Alibaba seller, they really go all out one. They will know what's your business, who's the key person, you know, they send out email, you know, they try to every possibility to outshine themselves compared to their competitor in the Alibaba business. And I hope that all those people selling in, whether it's B2C and B2B, right, it's all about how you want to outshine yourself, how you want to promote yourself so that people can believe in you, okay, and then they will put the purchase with you. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. I think we are approaching the end of the session. Before we close the session, I would like to give each of these panelists the final one, yeah? If you could leave us the best tip of it all from your presentation and everything, yeah? What would that be? Maybe you can start first.
Best tip.
The best tip for all the audience here talking about this cross-border e-commerce.
The best tip is, I can say, is like get a mentor to advise you, to guide you how you go about e-commerce rather than you go yourself without anyone mentoring you or guiding you. And that will be the best way for you to go and smooth to avoid any dispute. You know, get a mentor to guide you. You know, a qualified, experienced mentor, you know, so to guide you how to do cross-border, you know, so that you can able to address all your problems, all your issues, you know, on your products, on whether it's B2C or B2B. You know, that's my tips.
Thank you. Mr. Azari?
For myself, only two words: relationships and support. Because you cannot create that relationship in e-commerce. So you got to learn how to create a better relationship, like mentioned by our Mr. Ko just now on B2B, for example. Get to know them, get to know the company in China, in Uganda, in whatever country. Get to know who's the person responsible. Email them, WhatsApp them. Now we can even have a virtual meeting. So much easier now to get connected. And the second one is support. Please have a very powerful support because customer get so agitated the moment they request for any support and we can answer them. You know, for example, quotation from other countries or even some delivery problem, product stuck in the port, for example. So these are, you have to be a very powerful support team to answer whatever inquiry from your potential buyers as well as your current buyers so that you have a better relationship with them and they will start continuing buying from you. I think that is one of the most important part.
Okay, thank you, Mr. K.
For me is you just do it. You know, you just do it because don't paralyzed by the fear of what you think that there's so many complexity in cross-border, it's so hard, you know. But actually it's much more easier than you think if you start doing it, you know. But as I said, B2C give you a test ground. You send a parcel through B2C, right? You get stuck, right? They ask for the certification, right? Worst case, you lose the value of the parcel itself. But you know what is needed from you. And you learn by doing it, by stepping out of your comfort zone. Sometimes you cannot get fully ready one. You know, you cannot never get to the fully stage. And I always say that you just start doing it. And if, of course, don't start doing per container immediately. That one is a bit risky. But just try. Start doing it with B2C, eBay or whatever, selling small parcel. And it's very low risk. The worst case, you will lose the parcel value. You know? And when you do B2C, you will get to do B2B and even further, you know. So don't get paralyzed by the fear of that. It's very hard, it's very complex. Just start doing it, okay?
Thank you very much. We have come to the end of the panel session, and I would like to record my sincere appreciation to our panelists and also to all the audience out there. I hope this 1.5 hour session give you a new perspective about this cross-border e-commerce and you're ready to move into the next step, which is really go and do it, as what was advised just now. Thank you, and I hope we'll see you again in another session, and I wish all of us all the best. God bless all of us. Thank you.